Organizers say 1.7 million joined Hong Kong pro-democracy rally against police use of force, as protesters reiterate 5 demands.
Here's a summary of the article.
Organizers say at least 1.7 million people attended a mass pro-democracy rally against the police use of force in Hong Kong on Sunday. The front adopted the theme, "Stop the Police and Organized Crime from Plunging Hong Kong into Chaos," in response to Beijing's call for Hong Kong to stop the riots and return to normal. From frontline activists, to the elderly in nursing homes, to public housing residents, Hong Kongers have faced police brutality in the forms of tear gas, bean bag rounds, and rubber bullets, which they used to disperse and arrest us. We've also endured non-discriminant attacks by the triads. Hong Kongers are deeply outraged and abhor the actions of the Hong Kong government and the Hong Kong police, the front said in a statement. Police brutality not only causes physical injuries, it can also create a dehumanizing atmosphere of fear. When the chair of the Junior Police Officers Association and legislative councillors repeatedly call protesters cockroaches, it brings up the painful memories of genocide to both Hong Kongers and the international community. The Nazi government of Germany called Jews rats, while the Hutus called the Tutsis cockroaches during the Rwandan genocide. The international community's image of a civilized Hong Kong is being destroyed by the Hong Kong police, step by step. No demonstrators made it to Beijing's office in Hong Kong after calls on protest telegram channels to avoid Sai-Wan and rejoin the rally instead. A 21-year-old female student, who declined to give her name, told HKFP that she thought it is riskier to stay out past 11 p.m. because police tend to conduct clearance operations later in the night. The Hong Kong Special Administrative Region government fully supports the police in strictly enforcing the law and deeply appreciates police officers' efforts in restoring public order and peace, protecting the lives and properties of members of the public and bringing violent protesters who have violated the law to justice, it said.
This post received a score of 16,402, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
What are the 5 demands?
1. The complete withdrawal of the proposed extradition bill. 1. The government to withdraw the use of the word riot in relation to protests. 1. The unconditional release of arrested protesters and charges against them dropped. 1. An independent inquiry into police behavior. 1. Implementation of genuine universal suffrage.
Such simple demands. Just shows how afraid China is.
China is afraid that once HK gets what it wants, other cities will start to speak up. Especially most Chinese don't know what triggered all these protests. All they can see from the news are the cherry-picked violent scenes.
Besides from people getting the simple rights everyone in the world should be entitled to, what did spark this whole thing in the first place? I feel like within the last year alone this whole HK protest blew up.
Long story short, extradition bill proposed. It started when some fucker from Hong Kong murdered his girlfriend on vacation in Taiwan and was detained in Hong Kong on return. However, due to laws he cannot be trialed in HK but cannot be sent over to Taiwan for trial where he committed the crime. To fix this, HK proposed a bill allowing extradition of criminals between the countries, and since HK is technically part of China but part of one country two systems, China would be part of the deal. Sounds okay on paper. Sending criminals overseas for trial isn't bad, until you consider that the
One thing I'm confused on, which I never see people seem to clarify, to be extradited you would have to commit the crime in China, right? Presumably the Chinese government can't use the bill to extradite a Hong Kong citizen who speaks out against them while living in Hong Kong? Only if they do so in China and then move to Hong Kong.
On paper, yes, this would be the case. The issues arise when 1. Hong Kong is technically considered part of China but under one country two systems, and the political lines start to blur when you start thinking about how free Hong Kong is from China too. Many of whom did not agree with him and leaned more towards Dengism. This bill, while good on paper, could lead to problems of abuse by Xi Jinping's regime. While there is no guarantee of this happening, the possibility of it is why the initial protests started.
What's the solution? The organizers suggested a tactic, water flow, which asked protesters to first fill the park area, then slowly leave the park to allow protesters outside to come in. Why being peaceful? The government said protesters are rioters who have no stake in the society, simply ruining their home. Protesters hope to use a peaceful method to see if the government would ever respond to the demands, and of course, to show that protesters aren't rioters.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.